Brian B. Shynin is a can't-miss personality on Kansas City's own Hot 103 Jamz. You can find Brian on Hustle and Shine in the morning from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on Kansas City Radio. Brian's journey to radio comes with a great story, though. He sits with us to discuss his upbringing, his early beginning as a DJ, coming to Hot 103 Jamz, his passion for the movie Blood In, Blood Out, Suave Al, and so much more. Thank you, Brian, for being who you are in the town, representing us Kansas Cityans with the passion and the care you do. We love you, man. This is Enterrupt KC. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome back to Enterrupt KC, the podcast dedicated to people, places, and things right here in Kansas City. I'm your man, D-Rod. We got JL right here to my right. We got Nick back there in the corner, man.
Yes, sir, man. What is up, D-Rod?
Oh, man, great things, man. Great things, man. Just sitting here, man, in this building, man, in this room, man.
You know, driving out here, man, you know, like I feel like I've been to every corner of Kansas City.
For sure.
And seen a whole lot of things that you should see in Kansas City, and probably a whole lot of things you shouldn't see in Kansas City. Right, born and raised.
Yeah, man.
I had never been here, though. Like, really? I've been down here this way. Yeah. Didn't know this was here, so I can't wait to talk about that first.
Yeah, that's cool. I drive by it all the time, man. You know, so I see it from the 435 or 49, I guess. 49 right there, man. Yeah.
And the traffic. 5 o'clock. Oh, my God.
I knew it was kind of brutal, man. Coming from out north, man, I left a little early, you know, so... You know me, man.
I feel that. Well, listen, man, couple things we need to hit on real quick.
Yeah.
Number one, just top of my head. So we are going to be at Matty Road's little pop. We're going to have a pop-up there for Dia de los Muertos on November 1st, Friday, November 1st.
Man.
Have everybody come check us out, have some fun with us, engage with us, man. All about community, right, out here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about that. And then second, man, I'm a little disappointed about the
man.
Royals.
I know it, man.
You knew I was going to talk about this.
I know it, man. We always on the same wavelength.
You know,
man.
I hate the spank me's. I hate them with a passion, and I think it's hilarious that New York City fans brag about how good their team. Well, they better be good.
Yeah.
Like if I'm paying this much for this service,
right.
They better be good.
They're capped, man. They're capped. I mean, it is what it is, man.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, and I mean. You know, I was saying it, man. I'm to everybody who knows me, and I'm gonna say it again here, man. I think our pitching, you know.
Don't get me started.
I'm just gonna say that, man.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm just gonna say that, man.
But it's exciting.
Oh, it was great,
wait
man.
For next season
already. Yeah. It reminds me of 14-15, man.
I'm excited, man.
Right?
I'm excited.
It reminds me of 14-15,
Absolutely.
Man. So it's all good, man.
We had some classic times back then.
Yeah, we 24-25, 10 years, man. The next one, man.
Can't wait, man. With that, man, let's get right into our guest. How about that?
Man, sun, man. The sun is just gleaming today, man.
It is. It looks good. He already said we can't be friends because blood in, blood out. I can't wait to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
So, man, with that said, we are going to interrupt our guest today, D-Rod.
Yeah.
And by interrupt, y'all know we mean introduce our guest, none other than the legend. This dude is a legend.
Yeah,
himself.
I want to call him something as well that I read, man.
Call him Shynin.
Well, I'm going to say that, but I'm going to call him KC's favorite son. Right?
Let's go.
Is that right?
Hey. Mr. Brian B. Shynin, man.
What's up, B?
A pleasure and honor to be here, man.
Let's go.
The compliments are flying. So, look, I love it, man. I love what y'all doing. I love the interaction. Let's get to it, bro.
Let's get to it, bro.
Man.
Let's get to it. First thing first, Brian. Tell Kansas City, where are we right now?
Oh, man, we are in the building of the Carter Broadcast Group, home of Hot 103 Jamz.
Let's go.
KPRT, 1590, 106.9. And, you know, I love Hot 103, but look, my favorite station, I should say one of them, is 106.9 FM. Okay. If you're listening to this, tap into that. R&B 106.9 FM. That's our newest station that we came out a little bit over a year ago.
Yeah.
106.9.
It sounds like KPRS in the 90s.
Right.
Like you'll hear like Mint Condition and then it might be some Alexander O'Neal, and then it'll be some. It might be a hip hop song, like it might be a "Me, Myself, and I" by De La Soul, and then it'll be a current R&B song, like
Am I gonna hear some Tevin Campbell, man?
Yes.
Okay.
You gonna hear Tevin Campbell, Tony Braxton, like all the good stuff from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Look, I'm to R&B 106.9.
106.9, man.
Hey, I'm gonna check that out.
You said you guys broke that out last year, right?
Yep. Been a little bit over a year. So
okay.
You in the car, you can tap into 106.9 on your radio.
It's on lock on my radio, man.
But it's gonna be on lock when I leave here.
But tap into the app. Get the app because it's a little fuzzy in some parts of the town. It is.
Is it?
It is.
Why is that, man?
The app is a cheat code. The signal ain't the best. That's just it's a radio thing.
Yeah, right.
But man, it's again, Hot 103 Jamz is always has been, always will be probably my favorite station. But R&B 106.9.
I love it.
It's on his heels.
Man.
Let's go, man.
That's what's up, man.
Listen, man, we want to talk about that and so much more with you, Brian. One of the things that we do with Enterrupt KC, man, is we try to grab the story of our people here in Kansas City because you cannot know Kansas City without knowing the people, right?
Yes, sir.
So with you, Brian, man, talk about, man, where are you from, bro? Like, where are you born and raised?
kcmo, baby. Nowhere else. Nowhere greater.
Where about, man? Where out?
The thing with me, I can't claim specifically one hood, and if I did, it would have to be Village Green. It no longer exists. It was on 45th and Paseo, 45th, 44th. And that's where I grew up from when I was born till I was about 10 or 11. If I did claim any part of the city, it would have to be Village Green right there on 45th and Paseo. But man, I probably lived in 8 or 9 different houses in KC, probably maybe more than that.
Like just why?
We had to move every year. Well, first off, my first big move wasn't because of financials or anything like that. It was actually because I got in trouble at school.
Here we go.
Okay, man. We're all cut from the same cloth, right?
Let's pull that out, man. What'd you do, man?
So I'm at Volker. I'm 9 years old. This is winter 94,
at
95.
Volker? You went to Volker? Yes,
sir. Went to Volker. This is winter 94, 95. And probably January 95 because this is near the Super Bowl. And this kid.
You remember his name, man?
I don't. Okay. I don't remember his name. I remember exactly what he looked like, though.
Okay.
So, in school, you get to roasting a lot. That's back
Mama
then.
Jokes.
Back
everything.
then, please. That was what we did. We roasted all the time. It's bullying now. Back then it was roasting.
Yeah.
And even it wasn't even bullying because we was going back and forth and it was more like a sport, like a competition type deal, But
we remember.
Yeah, when your kids that was more teenage, but when your kids it's more personal, like 9, 10 or whatever. Yeah. So he said something about my mama. And I think I just had an attitude or something that day. Because I pushed him down the stairs.
We ain't roasting back and forth today. We swinging, huh?
Yeah, I just pushed him down the stairs. And
how big were them stairs, man?
It was a flight.
Oh, okay.
And it's them hard ass Kansas City Missouri public schools, not Kansas City public schools. I'm talking about Kansas City, Missouri public schools.
Let's go.
Kansas City, Missouri school district stairs. So that was hard as steel. And now I ain't bragging about it or nothing because I still feel bad. Yeah. And it's a regret that I have, but it shouldn't be a regret because it changed my life. Because I got suspended 3 days. In the 4th grade at 9 years old for doing this. And my mother told me, now that I'm grown, she's like, I called your father. It's your turn. I couldn't do anything else. So
no way.
I had to move in with my daddy.
Okay. Pops came and got you.
Yep. And my second mama and my little brother. And it changed my life in so many ways. It changed everything. So that if I were to point to one move that kept me alive and out of jail, is that.
Where'd you go from? So you was right there, in that neighborhood, but where'd you move to with your pops?
All right, so Pops was at Chestnut Hill on 86 86th, 87th at Homes or whatever.
A little further south.
Yeah, so we was south, and I'm still going to Volker, by the way.
shit,
So they had to have it was like a little special taxi that they had to come pick you up or whatever. So that's how I was getting to school. But then in the middle of that year, like two months after that, we moved in with my grandma Cheryl on 54th and Terrace? Yeah, 54th and Terrace over by not 67th and Terrace. I'm getting my streets mixed up.
You said you moved several times.
We
bro,
did, bro.
So.
67th and Terrace is right by Research, right off of Paseo.
Yeah.
So moved there, and then 96. That's spring of 95.
Okay.
Winter of 96 in the 5th grade. Moved to 83rd and Campbell. All right. Pops and second mama, they got into it.
Yeah.
Moved back in with my mama in the 6th grade. And then they got back together. Then we moved to 71st and Wayne. Now we're in spring of 97, going in the fall of 97.
Now, how old are you, 97?
I'm 12.
Okay.
Then 8th grade. A year later, in the fall, going into 8th grade in 98, we moved to Brittany Point Apartments on like 85th, between 85th and Holmes and True, somewhere around there. It's right behind Paul Robeson. Let's see, we in 98, 99. Winter of 99, like December or so.
Yeah.
2000-ish, January 2000, somewhere around there. We moved to 59th and Spruce. Okay, now this is kind of where it ends a little bit, because 2001, my pops, and you know, y'all can get into this a little later in the podcast or whatever, but my pops, he kind of just left. He went to Vegas. We found out a little bit later on.
Yeah.
It's a long story with all that or whatever, the thing about that is, do you all remember the Precious Doe story?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
59th and Spruce. They found her in 2001, February 2001, and this is the same time that my daddy just went to Vegas. They found Precious Doe outside of the woods by 59th and Kensington. Kensington is right by Spruce.
Right.
So it was right down the street from our house. Yeah. Is where they found Precious Doe. But that was a week after we had moved out, because my father had left and we couldn't
talk about that though, man. Because like there's people, man. There's so many new people in the city, right? And just young people growing up, right? And man, there's such shit ton of people. Let's face it, they don't know anything about Precious Doe.
Yeah, man.
Maybe they saw. They know that maybe some people saw the 20th anniversary a handful of years ago, right? That was a sad situation, right? So she was a child, young black female, right? Body was found without the head. So people had no idea, right, D-Rod?
Yeah, man.
Who this was, who she belonged to, nothing, right?
Yeah, man. They found she was like 5 years old, and me and my brother, my little brother, we used to go down to the park on 59th Street. Is right down the street from our little house on 59th and Spruce, where we would go, you know, play football with other kids or whatever. It would always be kids there. Yeah. And they found that young girl, and the first thing that crossed my mind is we probably played with the girl, you know, in the same area or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the time I was 15 when that was going on, so I couldn't really take in everything of what was going on. I just, you know, saw the facts and what they were saying on the news, and I knew it was a big deal. It saddened me a lot.
What's sad in the city, man?
It took the city over for years, because they didn't find the parents until years later.
Yeah,
and it felt like that case hung over the city for and rightfully so, because, you know, that little girl deserved every piece of justice that she could get, you know. So you know, and then now it's like, with so many things that we see and experience through the internet and through socials, it's like, it seems like a footnote, kind of, sort of, in this society, you know, because we see tragedies happen every single day, it seems like.
Well, man, in Kansas City, right? I mean, Kansas City, unfortunately, man, like, The murder rate shot up there for a while, right? I mean, we're doing better on that. Crime is still kind of an issue, right, in the city. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people talking about stuff like that, but I mean, the violence, man, for a while, man, Kansas City was just, it was gaining, especially back then. It was a huge reputation Kansas City held.
Yeah, the mid-2000s, I think is what you're referring to, mid-2000s to late 2000s. And, you know, oddly enough, that was a time I wasn't even here. I was in college. I was in Maryville for the most part, you know. And, you know, of course, I would come here and work on the weekends. But I remember that time and just being a young adult being kind of like, damn, I don't ever feel comfortable right now going anywhere by myself, at least, you know. It seemed like you didn't know where to go to because it was just randomly
always
happening.
Something, man.
Yeah,
there's always some drama
Proplex,
going on, some shit, yeah.
Stuff was going on there, and then the VI, just all type of whatever little spots in the city. It just seemed like something was going on. But I just want to say that I don't think that that's singular to our city.
Oh, no.
You know, sure, I hate, one of my biggest pet peeves when people be like, oh, only in Kansas City. No, dumbass. This happens everywhere.
Everywhere.
It ain't just, nothing is exclusive to just us when it comes to violence or anything like that.
Facts,
so, I hate it when people do that because it just pours poison into the minds of people who may be on the cusp of thinking, well, dang, this is only
if there's one person saying that, there's a lot more saying it, and nobody needs to hear that shit, man, for real.
But you know, it's the people who don't go anywhere too.
Yeah,
man.
they talk it.
That's
we know, right, growing up. So, I mean, with
son.
that, man, so let's get back to your story, Brian, real quick. I mean, so you moved several times, man. And
I went to like 6 or 7 different schools.
Yeah, that's what I was going to hit
I was always
on,
the new kid, bro.
I'm telling you, man.
Did you go to Westport High?
No, I went to Northeast.
Northeast, he's a Viking.
Yes, sir.
Westport High,
yes,
man,
sir.
right here.
What year?
87.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little older than you,
okay.
man.
I couldn't, you know, because I'm seeing, and I appreciate the grades. Look, we got to appreciate each other getting older because sometimes we just don't experience that with some people.
Yeah,
so it's a blessing to see people get older.
Yeah,
but as I see my contemporaries, my people from my age, like we're getting a lot of grades. It seems like we're getting more grades than anybody else. It seems like so. You have a youthful look about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right on, man.
Pause. No Diddy.
No Diddy, man. No Diddy.
So this is one reason why I'm glad I don't get to grow facial hair like you two gentlemen, man.
Because you got it on top.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I got it on top. Yeah. But I'm just glad, like, because I think it would be gray now if I did. Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
A lot on your mind, dog.
Lot. Come on, Brian.
Yeah,
come on.
For sure, man.
So if you didn't care.
Yeah.
Hey, that's facts, bro. Yeah. That's facts.
Yeah, man.
So you went to Northeast, man, and you know I was gonna point out. So we had Dr. Anna Stubblefield on here, KCK superintendent.
Yep.
She went to Northeast too. So shout out, man. We had 2 Vikings on here.
Dr. Jennifer Collier, who's the superintendent of Kansas City Public Schools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a teacher at Northeast.
We need to connect with her too. But talk about your experience at Northeast, man. Because here's the thing: we were setting up right. He's like, y'all know we can't be friends, man. It's blood in, blood out.
No. I said that. No. I said if you haven't seen blood in, blood out, we can't be friends.
Okay,
that's what I was saying.
Okay, my bad. You know what I reckon? When we was getting out the car coming in here, we said something about like, oh, we on Mexican time or something. He's like, man, I love all my Hispanics,
all my brothers and sisters, because I know it's different cultures and different races of Spanish, and I don't want to cross or get anything wrong.
That's all right.
You know what I'm saying?
But go ahead, talk about Northeast, man. Like that whole experience, man.
Special place for me right there on Van Brunt. I had so many good laughs and very few bad times there. I really did. Yeah. The people is who I really connected with. Of course, the teachers was cool and the administrators and stuff, but I think it's special to me because I think that's where I started to find my purpose. And I have to thank Mrs. Fisher, who was my counselor.
Okay.
She's the one who really lit the fuse in me to try to attack media, her and my father. Because the reason that we're here today right now is a conversation that I had with my father when I was in the 9th grade, and I was at Paseo at the time.
Oh, okay.
And so my freshman year, I was at Paseo.
Yeah.
But you claim Northeast.
Oh, you got to, baby. Sophomore, junior, senior year, it was at Northeast.
Man.
But my freshman year, I was at Paseo because I thought I could draw. But I went to Paseo. I was like, nah, I can't draw.
Did you do some graffiti? Did you do graffiti?
I wish I could do graffiti. Hell no. I like to draw logos. That's what I like to do.
Okay.
I used to love doing that, but it's so many more talented people that went to Paseo that Paseo even still to this day is a treasure trove of talent.
Yes.
So you got to audition to get in there. So, but anyway, I was there, but I knew I wasn't gonna stay there because they have a football team. Because at this time, this is 2000. So I'm thinking I'm going to the NFL. I ain't thinking about nothing else. But little did I know, my father knew though. Like, bruh. So this is why we having this conversation. Like, bro, you finna graduate high school in 3-4 years.
Yeah.
What are you about to do?
Yeah.
And I tell this story all the time.
Huh?
I tell this story all the time whenever I go visit schools or whatever. I didn't know what I wanted to do. He's like, what is it you're interested in? I was like, I want to be a lawyer. He's like, no, come on, it's too much reading, bro. And I know you're not about to do that, right? And then think of something else. What do you want to do? I was like, stockbroker. It's like, Brian, don't you watch TV all the time? Don't you listen to the radio all the time? Like, why don't you do broadcasting? And I didn't think that was something. It never crossed my mind to do that until he said that. Because I used to turn on the TV and try to like broadcast Chiefs games.
Oh, okay.
I used to do that, or any game.
What was you listening to on the radio?
Hot 103 Jamz.
Oh, back then.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Every morning when I woke up, Julie and Sean. I was Breakfast Brothers. Of course, the man who gave me my name, Tony G.
Let's go, Tony.
I was always old school KPRS. Always 100%. So, from that point on, we created a broadcasting club at Northeast, which turned into an actual curriculum. It was a class by my senior year. And I owe all of that to Mrs. Fisher. And with the broadcasting club, we would come up with like a 5-minute video on random things that was going on in the school, whatever. And it would, TV One in the corner or whatever. It would play on the TV for the whole school. So,
So you got that started in Northeast?
At Northeast,
man,
sure did.
So I mean, by the time you were graduating, right, did you already point out, like, did you visit a bunch of schools? Did you research? I mean, back then, right, did you have the internet? Did you look this up?
Yeah, because I was making music CDs in high school. Okay. That's how I was making a little money. That's how I got my Kobe's. Remember the space boots?
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was able to get those, because I was selling $5 mix CDs in high school.
How was you mixing them?
I was downloading music on WinMX. So before LimeWire, this is before LimeWire. WinMX was what I used.
About
how many viruses you think you downloaded?
A million trillion. Unfortunately, told that computer's ass up. I did, but that's how I started DJing. Yeah. That was the start of my DJ career. Was me collecting music on WinMX, downloading it, doing mix CDs. People would give me a list of songs, and I would be up all night in the lab.
What was the most requested song you got?
Oh hell, I don't know. Back then it was
Nelly.
It probably was Nelly. No, dead ass. I was gonna say Nelly or some Bay Area, probably some E40 or you couldn't find a lot of like local stuff like Rich or Fat Tone. Very, very rarely could you find those on like WinMX or whatever, but like anything popular, it was right there. And this was going through the Napster era, and this is when they was threatening people. When they was like, soon the record company's gonna come in your house and sue you and all this other stuff. And I didn't ever think that was possible. So I just, I was downloading music like that up until 2008, because I went from WinMX to BearShare to LimeWire. So I never wanted to use LimeWire because it had a bad reputation.
Yeah,
so
they did.
LimeWire was my last resort.
Okay.
So, but by 2008, 2009, that stuff had kind of evaporated a little bit.
Right.
And then plus I was here by that time. So I was getting music from everywhere.
Right. Did you, like, when you was growing up, grabbing music out before the internet, let's say, did you go buy music? Would you go buy, like, Seventh Heaven, man, rest in peace? I heard it's going out of business.
It is, man. I went there a couple weeks ago, try to get me a little one too. Seventh Heaven is so important to this community and what it did for
people
specifically,
don't understand, man.
like all local music, but specifically MFR and Rich the Factor. You know, that was Rich the Factor store. Yeah, is what I like to say, because all his CDs was there and they always sold out all the time. But Hot 103 Jamz, we couldn't
Everybody
go
brought it
that.
here, right?
Nah. Hell no. And it's crazy now because discovering music with the internet, you know, all of a sudden now I'm hearing like just albums that I haven't really ever listened to before. Plus, I listened to them when I was a kid. You know, if I did hear it. So it's almost like discovering new music in a way a little bit. But we might have bought 3 or 4 albums or tapes back then a year.
Right.
It was, if a Michael Jackson album was out, we definitely was gonna get that.
Let's go.
Jodeci albums I had heard, you know, all the way. It's very few albums that I heard all the way through back then in the 90s. Ooh, I remember in 98, now my daddy and my second mama, when I was with them, they was the ones who was collecting tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
I will never forget Urban Hang Suite Maxwell. I'm heavy R&B influence over here. I love hip hop, but I am 1000% an R&B person because of my parents.
Yeah.
Maxwell, Urban Hang Suite, John B, Next. I don't know if y'all remember the R&B group Next, okay?
Yeah,
but not too close. Forget that song. We talking about the other songs, though. We talking like Butter Love. Yeah, and they had a song called Stop, Drop, and Roll With Me. Yeah. The lyrics on there are stupid crazy.
You know who I loved back then? I'm thinking about 98, D-Rod.
Yeah.
I believe her name was Adina Howard.
You damn right. You talking about that's T-shirt and panties era.
Yeah,
man. I'm just saying.
I got a funny story about Adina, but it is extremely inappropriate. Well, all right. So it's the Freak Like Me video.
Yes.
You know, every young man.
Well, describe the video.
Let's talk about the video.
Describe the video.
Everybody get out there and pull that video.
It's Freak Like Me. Like she's in you know, in this is what, spring of '95. Yeah. So you know, it's only so much you could do, but she was pushing the limit with this song.
Yeah, she was.
You know, and she had on little short shorts, her nares, her short shorts,
solid,
and you know, she had some pantyhose on. You know, and you know, she was singing about being a freak.
Yeah,
and you know, but every young man can experience this. But when how can I say this? When his nature rises for the first time, and you know, a young 9-year-old going on 10-year-old Brian, you know, experience pause. We doing an advanced pause here. He experienced what his first partial is. So,
yeah. I feel you.
You know what a partial. A chubby, whatever.
Well, I'm glad I brought up Adina.
Yeah, brought back a memory.
You weren't the only one. You said most young men, I probably would agree with you.
Love Adina Howard. Love my wife though. She ain't got nothing on my wife.
Go, what's her name?
Of course,
Naomi.
Shout out, Naomi, man. Yeah. So you're in high school, man. The club you got going. You decided to go to college. Okay. Yeah. So did you identify Maryville? Like, talk about how that happened, man.
Northwest Missouri State. Really, honestly, I mean, I think we went to UMKC just as a field trip, probably at Northeast or something. But technically, it's only one school that I actually went and visited, and it was Northwest Missouri State.
Okay.
And I'm just the kind of guy to where if I see something to where it works with me, and I see that I can fit myself in however I want to fit in or whatever, then I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah. And because I'm adaptable, I can be wherever. Yeah. Because a lot of times I'm just by myself anyway. So when you by yourself and when you're comfortable with being by yourself, you could do anything you want to do.
For sure, man.
And you know what's crazy, man? Because I feel like, Brian, like you grew up, you remember the era before social media, before the internet. Now you can be with all kinds of people in the click of a few buttons, right? Push of your phone or whatever. But for those of us that grew up before that, we know what it's like to truly like we by ourselves sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you got to live in it, dog.
And that's a good thing, man. I mean, it teaches you how to survive in more ways than just, than trying to be socially involved, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. But it works against you because you become super independent and then you ain't got no community. It's
true.
It's just all on you.
That's
you
true.
know,
That's true.
And that's what I'm trying to work out of, currently trying to make, some changes or whatever.
Well, you hear what Enterrupt
Man,
KC,
you hear,
bro.
man. You
You
hear
part of our
that.
community,
Big
bro.
love.
Let's
Big
go.
But Northwest though, they had a great broadcasting program, and I knew I could get on immediately, and I wanted experience, and now that I think about, I've always been like this because this is how I am as a coach. I like to play young players. I like to throw them in the fire.
Give them that experience.
Sharks are born in the water. So the only way you learn, or the way that I learn, and I've always been like this, and I don't learn through just sitting there reading a book. I learn through experience and doing.
Got to do it.
I'm the same
So
way.
was the program set up that way, or was you influential in that there at Northwest Missouri State?
No, it was like that. They have an on-campus radio station, which was important to me. I knew I had to, if I wanted to go somewhere, they had to have that. And so they had the on-campus station, and I was in a broadcasting class my first semester there.
Was you always Brian B. Shynin?
No.
What was you up there,
What's
man?
man? What was it?
So at Northeast, this was at Northeast, football practice, and again, I'm always a new kid. Northeast is probably my 6th or 7th school that I went to. So that's why I know how to adapt, because I'm just...
You a survivor, bro.
So the football team, Rick Coop, who was the quarterback, and he was the leader of the team. Hey, you look like the Penguin on Batman. And
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Come on.
So, in the hood or whatever, or on the football team or whatever, in football, my nickname was Missouri my first year playing football in the 5th grade because I had a big-ass Missouri shirt on. I had a kid named Irvin, love him to death, man. Shout out to Irvin if he ever sees this. We called him Hot Cheeto because he wore a Hot Cheeto shirt on his first day of practice.
Yeah.
These are the names that you just kind of pick up
right.
with football or amongst dudes, period. It's it is what it is.
It is, yeah.
So from that point on, at Northeast, everybody knew me as Penguin.
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 So even like when you was doing the radio DJ?
I claimed it, bro.
DJ Penguin or what?
No. And this is so whack, bro. I don't know.
Come on, man.
No. I'm gonna tell it, but and this it's just a small part of my history. But I just switched it to like Big Papa Penguin. I just just try to.
You
I had
owned
to put some sauce on it, dog.
You owned it.
I had to do something with it.
You owned it.
I just
It's all good,
I felt
man.
like it was already branded at Northeast. That's what people was calling me. So I had to
Big Papa
rolled with it.
Penguin, man.
I went with it, bro, because that's what you got to do sometimes. To me, I don't know. A lot of people don't feel like this, but that's just how I felt, man. I didn't want no smoke with nobody. I didn't feel like causing no bad habit. I was just gonna do my thing on the field.
Yeah, man.
And y'all do whatever, bro.
That's
We can
dope,
have fun
man.
with that. It was branded. I just stuck with it.
I feel that,
I
man.
like that, man.
You know what that is,
Adapted,
D-Rod.
man.
You know
Adapted.
what
But I
that
had to
is.
change that shit ASAP. Okay. I had to change that ASAP.
I love that, man. And so, but you didn't take Penguin with you to Northwest Missouri State.
It was up there for a couple years.
You took it up there with you, Big Papa Penguin.
And that was unfortunately.
I mean, they got some recordings with you saying that up there?
I think I do. I think I
You
have.
can find that online?
I think not online. I got all of that.
Come on.
But I do have a tape of one of my first air checks, and yikes, with a capital Y.
No, for
It's
real?
terrible.
It's rough.
Like,
It is what it is, dog. It's just
because you was nervous
man,
or
it's-
what?
Nah, I just didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
Number one, number two, I know I didn't know what my voice sounded like. I always hated my voice. Always.
Really?
Always.
To this day,
yeah.
not to this day.
Nah, I'm kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
And you know, I've adapted to what it sounds like, and yeah, I love my voice because it don't, you know.
Is it because like you don't feel like you look like what your voice sounds like, or what is it?
How was that?
Like it should be deeper, or
this is more when I was younger. It just when you first hear what you sound like, I'll tell you the story. It was when I was doing my Easter piece at St. Stephen's Baptist Church, 1414 Truman Road in kcmo. And I remember I heard my voice for the first time, and I just almost like quivered or shivered or something.
Come on.
What the hell is that? Because I was on the mic, and it was my first time hearing myself like that, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Man.
I hated it.
I think
man.
that's probably most people's reaction,
It
bro.
is.
I mean, straight up. Because the first time I heard my voice, I was like, damn, that fucking sound weird, man.
Yeah.
You know,
People
right?
more used to it now because we see ourselves all the time on the internet, and you hear yourself on the phone all the time, and you hear recordings and see recordings and stuff all the time. But in the 90s, though, like, it wasn't like that all the time. Like,
Well, it was like that when you're singing, right? I mean, you heard yourself. It's a whole different voice, so when you're singing.
Yeah. And the thing that we got to take account for that we lose track of is that your voice sounds different internally than what people hear externally.
For sure.
Because you're hearing from a different set of ears.
Yeah.
Like, you're hearing everything inside. Everybody else is hearing what you're delivering on the outside.
Yeah, that's facts.
It's a totally different sound from what you hear from yourself. But I don't know. I can't pinpoint what exactly it was I hated. I didn't like the tone.
I mean,
I think that's kind of normal. Bro.
I get that. I mean, I'm
that's
trying to
normal.
think about when I first heard my voice recorded. That was a long time
I know
ago.
when I heard you lately, man. You doing karaoke,
karaoke and all that. But I'm talking about like, man, you know, you talking about whack, man. I'm pretty sure I recorded one of those voicemails. It's like, yo,
hey,
it's
you know
your
what
boy.
to do.
Yeah.
Leave it at the beat.
Hey, girl, leave your number.
Put your phone right next to the music speaker.
Exactly.
What song was y'all playing?
Oh man.
You know, I'll be honest. I don't think it was R&B. I think I was doing like some like maybe like 50 Cent, early 2000 50 Cent, DMX. you know like stop, drop. Hey, what's up, everybody? Leave your name and number. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean that's probably honestly real talk. I mean I never did the whole like R&B. Those videos
I did.
They make me laugh something serious when I see them though. You did that?
Oh yeah. Well, I can't pinpoint a direct song. I think it must have. What I did was whatever I was feeling for that week, right? Like then I'll change it up.
Used to change quite a bit.
I would change it all the time,
Yeah.
man. And whatever song would be out, but like I'm kind of feeling this shit, and then I put that on my voicemail or whatever, and then I don't know. So and I can't even, bro. That's. I just turned 55, so you talking 30, 40 years ago, man.
Like old school play.
Yeah, I got that old shit, man. I got that old Isley Brothers shit, man.
Dog.
When you was up at Northwest Missouri State, though, man, so what'd that look like as a student, man? So you had classes, and you talking about your voice, right? Do they teach you, like, hey, talk like this, make sure you sound like that? What does that look like for people?
No, they like, back then they kind of let you be yourself a little bit. And but we did have classes to where we would we work on reporting. Like it's different sets of broadcasts that we work on. Like you had radio broadcasts, we would work on ramping and posting, which would be like, at the beginning of the song there's an instrumental a lot of times, and at the end of the song sometimes there's an instrumental that you can talk over or speak over. That's called ramping and posting. Yeah. So we got schooled in that, more so the rules and stuff, the FCC rules and all that type of stuff, how to structure a show. And but there were different things, like I said, broadcast media. We had to do some AP news type stuff sometimes. Yeah. And then you had to write as well. You had to make sure your writing skills was on point. Right. And then you had to do the TV side too.
So, man, how did you get to 103.3, man? Is there an internship program? Like, what does that look like coming out of Northwest Missouri State?
This is a very long story for real. And it dives into me personally too. Because in 2005, That was the worst year of my life.
Okay.
At that time, and
how old were you in 2005?
19/20. Because my birthday's in August, so it's like I'm 2 ages in a year.
Yeah.
So I was 19, 20, and I was born in 85. So I called and sent one email here that spring, but I knew that I was not going to be in school the next semester because I was going to get suspended because of my grades. I was just really slacking off and being lazy.
This is in college?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, being lazy, not doing my work in my gen ed classes. It was biology and
I hate that class.
Classes. So, but I knew I was going to get suspended. So I guess it was a reason I didn't get an internship this summer.
Okay.
Fast forward, I actually am in a holding cell in August.
On your birthday?
It was like 4 days after my birthday.
Because of your birthday?
Nah, okay. I didn't wild out to do nothing like that. But I was at Home Depot.
Yeah.
And I did something I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
somebody called you Big Papa Penguin. You went,
well, they, funny thing is, it was one of those things where they build a case on you to where you was doing something stupid and you kept doing it.
Yeah.
And I told them my last day was, and I walk in, hey Brian, the manager wants to, but I had to go back up to Northwest because I already committed to my roommate the spring before. I didn't know I was going to get suspended when I committed to moving off campus and being in an apartment with my roommate. Plus, papers had been signed and all this stuff, whatever. Right. So I had to go back up to Northwest, even though I knew I wasn't going to go to college. I was going to get a job somewhere, make some money, and just chill for 3-4 months, get back into school in the spring semester.
Yeah.
So I tell them when my last day was after I built up my own case, and hey Brian, the general manager wants to see you in the back. I said, what for? She said, who cares? It's your last day. Just go see him. I was like, oh, fuck. I already know what's finna happen. So go back here. It's the general manager and the lady from the savings and prevention department.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And hey,
and this
Brian.
is at Home Depot. Okay.
135th in Overland Park.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, how you doing? I heard you going back to school. What are you majoring in? I'm like, well, let's get to it, bro. I don't want to have no conversation with y'all right now. Yeah. So the conversation slowly turns into, well, who was this at this time? And what were you doing here? And what was this? Oh, so you did that. And then they asked me to write a report or whatever, and then
there they come.
I said, man, y'all gonna arrest me for this shit? It's Overland Park Police Department.
Okay.
You had a right to remain silent, blah, 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 blah. So I get walked out of Home Depot in handcuffs, and this is August 20-something, 21st or 22nd on a Tuesday, because I got lucky because I was able to get court that night.
The next day? Or that night?
No, that night. I got a little
that's during the day.
This was at like 5 or 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So they had Tuesday night court.
Oh, okay.
So I got lucky. I was able to do that. And I was in a holding cell for several hours. My pops came and picked me up. And to make a long story shorter, I got diversion.
Yeah.
So you got to take piss tests and do that for a year.
Counseling, something.
Yeah, I had to take a class on theft or whatever.
Yeah.
So. But you get it expunged. It's like probation, but you get it expunged.
Once you complete everything.
Okay.
So did all that. Let's fast forward to like Thanksgiving, because I can't find a job anywhere.
Right.
I can't. McDonald's, Subway, whatever. I can't do anything.
They won't hire you.
Yeah. So I'm at Northwest. I'm in my apartment, just sitting there every day.
Yeah.
Man.
Doing nothing. I tried to be on a radio station. They said, nah, you got to be in class. And I tried to hang out or whatever at Northwest sometimes. I was just a bum. This was my bum era.
Yeah.
These 4 or 5 months or whatever. I was a bum, bro.
Yeah.
Eviction notice. I still got it.
No shit.
Had an eviction notice.
You still carry it with you?
It's at my house.
It's put up. Yeah.
It's in my house. Yeah. And Thanksgiving, my mother comes to get me, and I don't show no weakness in front of my mother at this time. I just broke down and cried when she was taking me back home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And
did she know what was going on with you? Like
yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
And she helped me out a little bit. She sustained my stay there until I was able to get back in school. I had a plan. I was going to get back in school, take the extra financial aid money, catch up on all the bills, blah, 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 blah. And eventually that worked. But God works in so many ways that you don't even recognize sometimes that. And he sees what you're going through. And he knew I needed a little pick-me-up. So this was probably a little bit after Thanksgiving, and it's like a month left until it's Christmas time or
holidays,
whatever. So you can go back home. And it was a party that was going on at Northwest. Matter of fact, this might have been a little bit before Thanksgiving. It was a party that went on, and I guess somebody was flaunting cash or whatever.
Okay.
Because in the parking lot, I found $200 worth of 20s that sustained me for the rest of that year until I can get back in school. So what I did was I paid some bills with it, and I bought a big-ass bag of fish sticks.
For real?
Big-ass bag of fish sticks.
The little stick ones?
And some bread.
Okay.
And some
man,
bread.
The bread and fish sticks.
That shit lasted me a whole month. And I probably lost, throughout that time, I probably lost 20 or 30 pounds too, because I had no money to eat.
Bro.
None. So I had to do what I had to do till I can, get back into it. And when I got back into it in 2006, I got, I was in school, grades, never had a problem with my grades again. And that spring in 2006 is when I emailed and called like 5 or 6 times. And not only did I do that to this station, but I did it to a couple others as well. Because I knew I that was a kick in my ass, bro. I needed it.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you, man. Like, I was going to ask you, man, like, so if you thinking back on that, right? 20 years old, man, you just all this shit going on, man. I was gonna joke with you about, man, was you like Craig got fired on your day off? But I didn't, but
I was actually working. I was going into work, so not on my day off.
But well, I guess where I was going with it though, Brian, is, man, we tend to look back on those types of moments in our lives, right? We grown men, we are up there now.
We all have done shit, man.
We look back and like, man, I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson. I learned. So what would you say, man? Like, what are the lessons you could pick out of those moments in that time and say, this is what that taught me?
I don't even think it was the Home Depot thing that really taught me. It was more so you got to get off your ass. It was more so that because I was severely disappointed in myself. Because I hate letting my parents down, and I hate letting people down who believe in me or who invested in me in some sort of way. I hate that. It eats at me. And so with college, graduating college at that time, it was a pipe dream. I didn't think that I was capable, or it was gonna be extremely difficult for me to do. So I was just really down on myself. But I knew that I had to make it happen, and that's where the start of my motivation came, I guess, because before then, the only motivation I had was probably just being successful, and I knew you had to do something to be successful. Right. So I was just trying to start to be successful, but I actually didn't know how. And going through that, I just had to learn that it's on you.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to just say, man, when you're young, right? We all been there, bro. I mean, shit. We could go on and on about all the shit that I've done in my life, man. And I mean, it is a learning lesson, man. Thank you for sharing that, for one. Sure. But one thing that I want to shine the light on is your pops, man, from an early age, bro. From that early age, man, that he was like, no, you got to figure this out. You got to figure that out, you know. And he pushed you, man. He did even through, your college school years, man, right? Look, I mean, feeling that what you felt of letting your parents down, letting them down. I mean, just being a knucklehead, being young. Let's just call it young, right? Because that's what everybody has done, included, right? So, man, is your pops still around?
So I was going to continue the story, because this is all intertwined, and that's a good segue to continue it. Because when I emailed and called the spring of 2006, I got a call back from my man Theo, who used to be here. Him and there were other people in the marketing department that was running an internship program, and I got an interview here in May, and they let me in. Remember one of the first things we was doing in this very room. This was one of the first rooms I ever visited. In this room, we had to fill up like 5,000 bags because we were having Steve Harvey here for the Steve Harvey Morning Show. He was doing his show live in Kansas City, so we had to fill up 5,000 promo bags full of stuff. So that was my first week here in this room. Wow. It's crazy. But after that first week, Kenny Diamonds, who used to be here, he had a show called Underground Heat that I was involved in a little later on. And I was coming up here interning during the day. And this Friday, particular Friday, May 26th, I go home and, you know, it's me, my pops, and my older brother. And it was me, my pops, my older brother, and my little brother. We will always be with each other on the weekends, play Madden, stay up late, eat, talk shit, whatever. That's how we did. That was our together time. And this particular weekend, my little brother didn't come over. Excuse me. And this is at my mother's house too, by the way. But my mother and my father were never married, so I don't want to make it seem like
I get you.
Yeah, so, but my pops was living at mama's house at this time. Yeah. So we had Gates this particular night, all right? And now it's like 12 o'clock at night. My little brother isn't here. It's just me, my older brother, and my daddy. And, you know, we playing Madden or whatever, and 12 o'clock comes, and Underground Heat is coming on. Yeah. That's why I mentioned Underground Heat, because I wanted to go upstairs and listen to it. And I go upstairs, and then my girlfriend at the time, she called me, and I was going to talk to her and listen to it on the radio upstairs. I go upstairs, and my pops looks at me and says, "Hey, you gonna go upstairs because Jared ain't here, huh?" Jared is my little brother.
Little brother, yeah.
And I just kind of looked at him and just went on upstairs. Probably about 45 minutes later, I hear a scream. And I thought that it was just them playing the game. Messing around, Yeah. But it was my older brother yelling my name. And then probably, I don't know, 10 seconds later or whatever, after I kind of just ignored it, thought they was playing the game, I hear it again. And I tell my girlfriend, like, look, I got to call you back. Something going on downstairs. Go downstairs, and I see my daddy passed out.
No way.
Yeah. So,
heart attack or
I tried to give him mouth to mouth and all that. Yeah, massive heart attack and not cardio. What is it?
Cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest. Yes, thank you. And a bunch of other stuff. My daddy lived an unhealthy life, so this is the thing. It wasn't a really big shock to me, but it shocked my life.
Yeah,
for sure. It was.
Well, come on.
It was the first time that I was ever really just blindsided by life. This is my first real big loss. And this is a year after I'm suspended from college. So that's why I'm telling y'all this is the worst year of my life. This is And this is the
all
first
the same calendar kind of year.
And this is my first week intern. It's after my first week interning at the station.
Wow.
And so it happened that Friday/Saturday morning, where May 27, 2006. Yeah, my pops died that day. So he didn't get to see, you know, what Kansas City has experienced over the last 18 years or so. But he saw that I guess that I was going to get taken care of, you know, that first week. Yeah. And so that's kind of how I look back at it now. But the time that I spent with my pops from when I was 8 until that time when I was 20, it was probably the most powerful conversations and times that still live with me to this day.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, my pops was always my hero. It wasn't no rapper. Yeah. It wasn't no singer. It wasn't no actor. It wasn't no president. It wasn't no council person. It wasn't nobody but my daddy.
What was your dad's name, man?
John Brooks.
Man, shout out. Rest in peace, John Brooks, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
Yes,
man, I appreciate
sir.
you telling that story, man. Because, listen, to your point, man, because you said it. You said he didn't get to see what Kansas City has saw and heard for the last 18 years, man. So he's a direct, I mean, the things he fed into you, the belief he gave you, conversations, he probably told you a lot of things you needed to hear and didn't want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Man, I am my father in terms of his passion and leadership. Those are the two things that I saw from him that that made my daddy stand out, and I know that he was a real man by the things that he did when he was amongst other people. Like, he would correct your child. He was that type of man that would be like, nah, you're not finna do that in front of me. And I remember one time I almost had to fight this other kid at church because he disrespected my pops. Like, bro, how dare you? I don't get to do that to my daddy. So what makes you think you finna, talk, bro? Like,
Let's go.
Well, he instilled so much into you, man. I mean, as a young boy becoming a man, and even as a man to this day, it sounds like, right?
Yes, sir.
Like he put that into you, that leadership, that take charge, keep it going, man.
Yep.
Keep it going, man.
Love that.
Lead by example. And I'm trying to be more communicative among everybody, because I kind of just do my thing and let everything cook.
Yeah.
I try not to be abrasive with my language or things that I say or topics that I dive into on the internet. I try not to dive into a lot of BS.
Yeah, you ain't drama, man.
I'm not, dog.
I never got that feeling about you, and I didn't meet you till today, bro.
Thank you.
So take that for what it's worth, man. So you hear, man. That's a crazy start to a career. Let me just tell you, that's a crazy start to a career, man.
More crazy thing is like, if my pops was still alive during that time, I don't even know if I would still probably be doing this, because I didn't have a car. So I don't know if I was going to be able to get up here all the time like I needed to. And this is how God be working, bro, because we don't be understanding at the time of the hurt.
Right.
And rightfully so, because you just don't. You just got to have trust and belief. Me, I had trust and belief, but what I had even more than that was just, I'm just gonna go with it, and that works into the trust and belief.
We're talking about your pops, man, and you're talking to two men here that lost their dads as well, man. Right? I lost my dad at I was, I think, 30 years old. And
changes everything.
Yeah, man. It makes when you realize and become a man and realize what this life that we live in is all about. There's certain things that, like, shit, I get it now. I get what Dad was saying. I get why Pops was saying this shit, because it took me for years to figure that shit out, but what I was gonna say.
I get now? I get why people go crazy. No bullshit.
Yeah,
I completely understand.
Yeah,
we just gotta try to contain that as much as we can. Yeah. But I get it.
Yeah.
We gotta have more sympathy, empathy, and understanding with each other, man.
Yeah, the stress of being an adult, being a parent, being a spouse, a partner, whatever, right? Like, it's all there, man. This pressure,
just life,
and the expectations, and I know there's different societal feelings about things like this, but of being a man. What does that look like? What you supposed to act like, what you supposed to, say, and things like that. Like,
feel,
those
react,
are different, man. And we probably all kind of grew up very similarly with strong fathers.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, I really appreciate you talking about that, man. So you're here, man. You're an intern. What does that look like, man, coming into a radio station? This is an established station, man, 103.3, right? KPRS. Talk about that, man.
A lot of work. I made it clear from day one. I was here to work and to get it in. And so
whatever it took. Gates mixed platters, presidential platters, go get them. Back then, when we had more artists coming into the station, into the city, or whatever banners need to be hung up, washing the Hummers and the vans by hand, not taking them to the car wash, washing these outside right here, hooking the hose up out here. Kenny Diamonds made me do that. Yeah, man.
And just doing everything in traffic, helping them out with the commercial logs and figuring out where the commercials need to go, blase, going in sales on their sales meetings and calls with Myron and Andre with the programming staff. Yeah. Like, it used to be like record labels, they would come in and we would go out for lunch or whatever, and Myron would invite me out to go to lunch with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several times. I was everywhere up here. If it's nothing to do here, go to the other room. Nothing to do there, go to the other room.
How long was that process?
A year. But it was like, So during that summer of 06, I was here almost every single day, but it changed when I went back to school. So I would come back some weekends, but mostly like if they did Toy and Food Drive, I would be there. Yeah. If it was some special event or something, I would help out.
Right.
But that's what that looked like when I was in school throughout that year. And then by the time 07 was here, and I was working at Applebee's. That's my last job before I had
full-time
coming.
Applebee's in Maryville in Northwest Missouri State. So the next year, the summer of 2007, June 13th, is when I actually got hired.
Okay.
So it took me a year of grinding and work and listening to air checks with Myron, to get put on. So
did you have a goal in mind, like what that looked like coming to a radio station like this? Like, man, I want to have my own show. I want it to be this time of the day. Talk about that, man.
I wanted to do everything.
24 hours a day, I want to be on the radio.
Back then, I wanted to, whether I admit it or not, I think I always wanted to be on the morning show. I did. Because, the morning show it's the main attraction of the station always. But I'm not a morning person. And
that's what I was going to ask you. So how long have you been?
I don't hate my show. I hate waking up at 4:30. I detest it, but it's worth it because of what you're able to do in the morning with the creativity and all the other things.
You got to wake up. That's what I was going to ask you,
and I'm blessed.
Brian.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm not blessed.
For sure. How long have you been on that show, and what your mornings look like, man? Bro, what time you like, shit, okay, time to get up.
Alarm off.
Time to make them donuts, man. Like, what time alarm off? What's that morning look like, bro?
Yeah. You getting up at 4:30?
So, 4:30, I'm up. Brush my teeth. First, I've been in mornings since 2015.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy story how that happened. September 2015, and so it's 9 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
But wake up at 4:30. I got to get right to it. I gotta go brush my teeth, wash my face or whatever. Get myself together. Hit the highway by at least 5 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah. 4:30 if it's winter time. Right. Well, and that morning, that early, bro.
I know you trying to remind me of it because it's coming up.
He's like, man, I shouldn't be going to bed right now.
I get here probably about 5:15, 5:20, somewhere around there. If I want to stop at Quick Trip or something, give me some ice or something. Yeah. But get here, finish my prep up because I do prep the night before. Finish my prep up, make sure that I got all my elements in order for the show.
Okay.
Me and my little sister Deanna, who, man, I love her to death. Deanna Hustle, she is a monster.
Yeah, she's fairly new too.
She's a little fresh. She's a little, especially compared to me. I'm a little moldy. She's a little fresh.
Yeah.
We launched that show November 27th of last year in 2020.
And that show was called
Hustle and Shine in the Morning, the best damn radio show you've ever heard in your
Hustle
life.
and Shine,
I swear to
man.
God, it is.
Who came up with that name, bro?
Me and Deanna.
Yeah, is that her?
Deanna.
That's her.
Deanna Hustle.
Yeah, Deanna Hustle.
Deanna Hustle, Brian B. Shining. So.
I love it, man, because it's a play on your names, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's really a statement to trying to get people motivated and going in the morning.
For the day.
I was going to tell you that, man. Like, you got to, to some degree, right, you got to appreciate the fact that, okay, you self-admit, I hate getting up.
I hate it.
Hey, you and the rest of most of Kansas City probably hate it too, right? Like, we all hate waking. We get up early, right?
I get up stupid early, man.
We get up stupid early. So I might text you one day. I know you up.
Like, what time is it now? It's close to my bedtime.
But the point is, man, you the first thing people are going to hear when they turn that radio on, man.
Sometimes I be taking that for granted. And it's easy to do that, and I'm sorry and I apologize for that. And it's easy to do that because I don't never get you all's perspective or point of view. I don't. I'm in the studio when y'all are hearing me in the car, and I'm just kind of like just working. To me, my bad. Kind of doing my thing, but that's crazy you say that because it's impactful because I don't think about that. I don't think about me being the first thing y'all hear. And then which is why I try to if you hear me in the mornings, I try to be energetic. I try to be mostly positive. Of course, some things we have to get on. Man. You know, that'll put you in a somber mood.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, though, Brian, because imagine this, bro. Imagine roles are flipped. I'm the radio guy in the morning. You hate waking up to go to work, wherever you got to go, and it sounds like this. What's up, everybody?
Oh, man,
you
shit.
Already know I hate this damn shit, waking up this early. I hope you like it. You know, the vibe is different. Now I'm like, man, I feel worse. You know what I'm saying? So you energetic, bro.
And you touched on something I was going to ask you, too, about the hosting style, right? Which is there right there, man. You got to keep it going, keep the tempo flow, right? I mean, get people who maybe don't want to get up in the morning, you know, like everybody else, and be like, man, let me hear what Brian got to say.
If people are really thinking that, I cherish that so much. Because I just wanted to represent our people in the best way possible and in every circumstance, man. And that's something I don't take for granted and that's why I talked earlier about not being reckless and trying to make sure that I'm not in certain conversations or bull crap or whatever. Right. It's because of that. I want to represent the people the best, and not only the people, but my family. For sure. At the best that I can at all times. So I try to pump love, positivity, and a purpose in the people. I think we are all here for different reasons. We all got different gifts that we should give to each other. For sure. And I feel like my gift, the purpose that I first discovered at Northeast High School is to help people get going, help motivate them, spread a message, give good energy, spread Kansas City spirit and Kansas City love. Because that's what I love doing.
D-Rock. You know what that is.
Hey, man, tell me what that is.
You know what that is, D-Rock. This man just talked about positivity, influence, purpose. That is a salute.
That is 100% a salute, man. Bro. Brian B. Shynin, brother, to you, man. Salute, man.
Just act like this is some vodka or something.
It is. It's a big old tub of vodka.
Yeah, big old tub of vodka.
I love that.
That's what I'm about, dog, for real, because is if you look at the internet and you look at socials and society, it can become way too much, bro. Way too much negativity.
It's out there, man.
And it can seep into your soul. It really can, man.
And it does a lot of people, bro.
And some people be feeling so hopeless. Like they have no hope for anything. And I just feel like everybody has some particular gift that we all need to respect. And that's something that we're missing in this day and age is that, okay, you're a sanitation worker or you're a bus driver. Well, damn it, how many people are you blessing by getting them to their job so they can help their family or so they can get to where they're going to? Everybody plays a part. I don't give a damn what you're doing. If you're the mayor, if you're a social worker, if you're a DJ at the weakest, lamest club in KC or whatever, you making people have a good time where you at.
Let's go.
So I feel like everybody can create a positive difference if they have that mindset. The problem is everybody don't be having that mindset, and everybody don't be believing that what they bring to the table is either enough or towards a winning cause. And I feel like if we all work together and use our talents in the city, in whatever industry or whatever it is, it can be music, it can be business, whatever it is. I'm an ultimate believer in a team atmosphere and environment. So everybody do their part, do their job.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
Like Power Rangers, dog. Like, you know how they all come together to Power Rangers?
You the red one? Which one?
Growing up, excuse me, so the first season they didn't have the white/green one. He didn't come till later.
Okay.
So I originally I think I liked the red one. But then, when the white one came, he looked too fresh. The White Ranger. Then I think his name was Tommy. Okay. Then I stopped watching in like '95. I was paying attention to the Chiefs after that.
Let's go. I feel that, man.
Yeah. What I want to ask you, man, I mean, is that okay? So you been in for a while, right? How the change of technology. Right, that came from. I mean, I'm sure it's a whole.
And you've been through it your whole career. I mean,
since it was since I stepped in here. It used to be diary. How we used to get ratings. But in 2009,
just to adapt to everything, man, how challenging was that?
It was very challenging here in 2009, 2010, 2011 because the industry had changed. Yeah. Nobody knew how to defeat PPM. Nobody knew, and it's personal people meter. This is how we get ratings now. It's like it's this separate meter that panelists carry throughout the city that picks up what station they're listening to.
Okay.
So, but
they just carry that around.
Yeah, people, the panelists carry it around. Yep. Wow. Like a phone, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but that changed the industry. That changed radio because there was a lot of independent stations that went out of business around the country. Which is
why? Because they just wasn't as popular as they thought, or what?
Allegedly.
Okay.
But I'll let
I'll
let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I hear you.
But when the ratings change, when how you get ratings change, how you feed your family changes, and you don't know how to adapt, and you don't have much time to adapt to it, it's like, what can you do?
Right.
But we adapted, we survived, and we've been thriving ever since then, for the most part.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that, man, because I remember hearing a certain DJ talk about that, saying like, man, our numbers are down, like, I need you guys to be watching or listening more and all this other shit. And I'm like, man, how the hell they know what the hell numbers are down? And they end up shit canning the whole station or the whole genre or whatever it was,
They probably flip formats. And that's
is that common too then, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see, you've seen it throughout the past 2 years in Kansas City how the radio foundation has changed a little bit with different stations flipping formats.
Right.
But that's why you hear the same songs all the time on. And it ain't just Hot 103 Jamz. It's every radio station where you have to get as many people to listen to as possible at all times.
Right.
So you have to play the biggest songs that most people like. Hence,
That's another thing I want to ask you too. Right? I mean, we all listen to the radio and sometimes like, man, they playing that on this again or whatever.
Song
it's the business.
Yeah, it's a business deal, man.
It's the business. Yeah. So that's it. That's the radio business.
Yeah.
And I have my thoughts about it, but I'll keep it to myself.
Yeah.
But it's when you do that, when you wear out the consumer like that, kind of sort of like people who want to listen a lot.
Yeah,
it just ain't built like that no more.
Yeah,
it's built for 15 to 20 minutes of your listening, and that's how we get the ratings.
Yeah,
now, because if you're listening for 15 or 20 minutes, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to hear the same song.
Right.
From us. Especially within that time frame, we don't play a song an hour within each other or anything. Maybe some stations do, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
But that was a part of trying to figure out PPM. Do we do that? Do you play it every 30 minutes? Do you play it every 2 hours? A lot of stations couldn't figure it out, but by like 2012, 2013, Myron, who is a wizard with the numbers. Myron D used to be on the Breakfast Brothers. He's been doing this thing.
So let's talk about KPRS here. This station. This is a black-owned business,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Black-owned company. So is it the first in Kansas City radio station to be black-owned?
Oh, I think we might be the only ones.
The only one,
but we're the oldest black-owned.
Yeah, how long
in the country? Since 1950. It'll be 75 years next year.
In the country. Mm-hmm. Wow. That says a lot.
Carter broadcast.
The story is miraculous, to be honest, about how this radio station is even here in existence with Skip Carter and Mildred Carter and what they were able to do back then in the 50s. A black man owning a station in the 50s?
Right.
Are we serious right now?
Right.
So it's
in
still,
Kansas City, Missouri.
And still, even to this day, it's monumental that, we're here and that we're almost going to celebrate 75 years next year. So it's living black history.
Yeah. Gonna have a big celebration, man.
I think they got something cooking. Yeah. They ain't let me in on nothing yet, but it's probably top secret.
Hey, well, look here, man. Just remember your boys here at Enterrupt KC
yes,
when that goes down.
Yes, sir.
We here.
Yes, sir.
Love to do a
maybe
pop-up
we'll come and do a
it.
pop-up, man.
For real.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was going to ask you, man, because this is one thing I've never completely understood, and there's probably people watching this that won't either or haven't. What is the fundamental difference between FM and PM? Or, I'm sorry, FM and AM? I know the numbers go all the way to the
nuts and crannies right now, huh?
I'm just saying I know the numbers go all the way up to the thousands, and the distance doesn't go very far on the AM and all. Like, what is the fundamental difference?
Well, I think like AM, the signal is just a little weaker, and that's like the original old school radio. Yeah. Like that's AM is original. That's where KPRS was before FM. It was over on the AM side.
Yeah.
And so FM is I think the signals are just clear, but I think I'm the wrong person to ask.
No, it's all good. What does
that.
FM stand for?
Golly, bro. People at Northwest
Family
Missouri State are going to roast me for this because I'm not sure.
And then what would AM stand for?
This is a college question that I forgot. So Mr. Fred Lamer, Dr. Fred Lamer at Northwest, my bad, man. I'm just going to have to Google this. Frequency modulation. That's
frequency
FM.
modulation.
And AM is another modulation.
Audio. I don't know.
Yeah, man. No, you know
No, that ain't it. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I said AM. My bad. I put AM instead of yeah. Hold on. Let me see. It pulled up the time instead of like radio.
AM radio. Yeah. Nah, it's just because I never what is
amplitude modulation.
Amplitude.
I know that was a question on 20 years ago
test
that
question?
I had to answer in college.
I was gonna say
my bad. It just look, man. I ain't had that type of question in 20 years.
It's all good.
Hey, JL, man. That's JL, man.
I just be wanting to know because I'm like, man, I never
You're inquisitive. When your birthday?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah, typical.
Damn it,
December what? No. That's not a bad thing or nothing. No.
December 21st.
Oh, you're barely a Sag. So you're like Sag Capricorn.
Come on, man. That's like telling me I'm barely a Gen X. That's fighting words, man. Like I'm Gen X, man.
You are?
Yes. 80,
you're Gen X?
80.
Really?
Yes.
You don't look 45 at all or 44 at all. You're 43.
I'm 43.
You don't look that, bro. You look pause. Advanced pause again. You look good.
No Diddy.
Look, man, and this is just showing love, bro. That's all this is. This is men showing love.
Yeah.
You look good, dog.
Thank you, bro.
You
Appreciate
look
it.
very youthful.
Thank you.
Bro, you don't have a speck of facial hair.
That's what I said earlier.
I know you did, but it's like...
And the skin's so clear.
Right, it's clear.
Yeah,
bro, I swear I thought you was in your 20s.
He's
thought
got
28.
that good tone,
Well,
man.
listen,
He's got that great hair.
I thought 28.
Look at that hair, man. He got that great
I
hair.
thought 28. I'm not lying.
My son is
28.
He's gonna be 26. That's my son.
That's your son? You lying?
No, for real.
Yeah, man.
I started young. Adina Howard, bro.
Look,
I'm
man.
telling you, she
All right.
poisoned me.
No, this is no shade to you. This is a ultra compliment to him, to your father. He looks younger than you.
I gave him a hard life. That's why.
He lived a hard life.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't living no hard life.
That's what I said. I gave him a hard life.
Oh, man.
Bro, appreciate
that's
you,
crazy.
man. I appreciate that, man. For
Now,
real.
if you say you was born in 80,
I'm gonna make a clip out of this whole thing.
This ain't... Bro, y'all just blew my mind with that. For real.
You know, man. I said earlier, man. Dina Howard, man.
Your
she
grandma
poisoned
and your mama must have took care of you, huh?
I ain't gonna lie. So number one, shout out my grandma, man. She's still alive. She in her 90s. Blessing. True blessing.
Oh, yeah.
Love my grandma. My mom, she's youthful looking still.
Yeah.
She's and I owe whatever this is to her. I look a lot like my father.
You look loved.
Yeah. Okay.
look loved,
she smacked me a lot, and she said she loved me while she did. I love you. It's not a love.
Yeah.
I love you. You know, it's true, man. I
was starting to believe that. She said that about good 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Church was the place, man.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so I mean, I had to ask you the questions about FM, AM, because I just didn't understand, man. I didn't mean to get all technical about it, but man, so you do the morning show, man. And one of the things I wanted to know, Brian, was the statistics around your show and 103. Like, do you know how many listeners y'all are averaging or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. It's like per week. It's either per week or per month. I think it's like 250,000 or something like that.
That sounds like a weekly number.
Yeah, I think that's. I can't look, man. Don't curse me out if I don't
call him out. Call him out. Call him out.
I don't know this for sure, but I just because I'm more in tune with the show now. Like
yeah, I feel.
I want to make sure my content is good and let the chips fall where they may, and make sure that I hit my points and all this other stuff. So I'm not really in tuned.
Yeah, you're not driven by that. You're not driven by that.
No, I'm just
right?
curious, man.
I mean, no, now I'm competitive.
Yeah.
Like I need my shit to be up there.
Yeah.
So I need and that speaks to me doing whatever I need to do and whatever it takes. And it's all about just keeping your ego in check and not being a know-it-all and listening and being coachable. You know.
How much time, man? Like, cause just some people, you probably hear you on the radio, and like, man, they probably just show up. It's no different than this podcast. They probably like, man, they just show up there, they record for 2 hours, and that's it. It's like, man, you know how much time this takes? Like, how much time, man, would you say?
So you probably gonna work tonight when you get home and get ready, prep and everything, right, for tomorrow.
I got to get clips. I got to get sound bites. I got to get extra stuff. And I like to be prepared.
For sure.
No matter what I'm doing.
Right.
If I'm DJing, if I'm doing radio, podcast, Madden, whatever, I like to be prepared. Because I think that cuts a lot of anxiety out. It cuts a lot of frustration out because then you could just work on muscle memory a lot of times and not have to worry about, this, that, and the third or whatever. So the less that I can have on my mind and be free to just do what I need to do and follow my structure, I'm good. And I think being prepared in anything, this is not just radio or what I'm doing. This is for anything. Be prepared, bro. Do your homework. And even if it's just 10, 15 minutes or whatever, just make sure you know something so you can be engaged and have a conversation. But that's the low end. I ain't finna do that. My work, this morning show has developed a work ethic in me so cold that that I can do nothing but be thankful for it. So you're right. Tonight I probably spend
for sure, man,
45 minutes to an hour trying to get everything ready. So when I come in here tomorrow, all I need to do is just execute.
And, okay, so then those people that probably don't know, I mean, and the reason I say that, Brian, is because we got our audience, man. Wide variety, man. We got people that's from California. We got people in Texas. We got people in Atlanta. We got people in shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen New York and we've seen even Canada and UK, right? So, I mean, those people that don't know, your time frame, the morning show, is 6 a.m. to 10?
10 on air, but, there's... production that we might have to do off air. Might have to go to a school for a pep rally or something. There's
always some extra shit.
Yeah, it is. Remotes, when we out broadcasting live from a store or something like that. So, it's more to it than just hopping on and just talking, because that's definitely not what we do. We don't just hop on and talk. We kind of practice. I do this. I practice what I'm about to say, think about what I'm going to say, make sure I know what direction I'm going, because there's several different things that I need to get to. I need to hit a liner card to make sure we talk about station business. Like we're doing a feminine hygiene products drive this weekend. Got to talk about that. I also need to talk about whatever story that I'm going to get into, and I need to figure out how I'm going to get out of that story and get to the break.
Go to the next one.
Because you just can't be fumbling and stumbling and not knowing where you're going.
Exactly.
Because it can easily show if your transitions aren't crispy.
Smooth,
Because if you have no map in front of you, you just kind of going wherever and saying whatever. And it shows. You can hear it. But when you have direction and you know where you're going, you have 3 different things that you that you need to hit on. It's kind of like following a roadmap. Right. So it's about being prepared.
Right. Yeah. So, and the reason I ask that, because most people don't know, but I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure that you're here after 10 o'clock.
I be trying to get up out of here, though.
I woke up at 4:30. I'm trying to get home.
See, my thing is, here's my thing. I'm going to do my work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it exceedingly and abundantly well.
Right.
I'm going to do it fast. Okay? I'm gonna correct my mistakes and make sure my thing is good or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to do it fast.
Yeah.
I want to
get on out.
Yeah.
I do because I be having a lot of other things to do. You know, my own little things or whatever,
Your
but
own
also
personal.
personally,
Right.
you know, I got to pay attention to my older brother.
Right.
You know, so it ain't just it ain't just the radio.
Well, I'm gonna bring it up, man, because he said it. You know, you talked about it. You got a podcast.
Oh yeah, Brian's
Right.
World, baby.
Brian's
Yes,
World.
sir.
Let's talk on that, man.
on that,
Come
man.
on. Let's plug
What was
that,
the
man.
motivation behind that?
Man, I needed to be out. Like I only got the show. You know, I only got Hustle and Shine in the morning. But I mean, I had my Blitz little video that I do to promo the podcast or whatever. But I need to get more content out, dog.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'm just consumed with a whole bunch of stuff that I don't get to do these things. So I made a commitment that my Chiefs takes and my music. I don't do a whole lot of music takes. It'll be a sprinkle of music takes in the pod, but you'll hear my personality influenced inside Chiefs and football and bets and all this type of stuff. So Brian's World is on and popping. Shout out to my guys at Foolish Club Media.
Yeah.
The former guys from arrowheadpride.com. You know, it's Foolish Club Media now. That's what we rolling with.
Right on. Shout out Brian's World, man. Where can people find it, bro?
Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and on Spotify. So, but more so Apple Podcasts though. Brian's World, Foolish Club Media.
You do it weekly or?
Yep, weekly. Every Wednesday at 4:00 it drops.
I did see a clip. You had Chris Calico.
Yep, had him on last week.
Man,
which one did you see?
Shout out Chris.
Do you remember?
It was that one.
I had two of them.
The short.
Oh, it was just a little clip of him talking about
BET Uncut or his mental health journey.
No,
I saw
BET
the mental
Uncut.
health one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was a great episode. That's the one we did last week. Shout out to Chris Calico.
Yeah, shout out,
Chris,
man.
Coming on and sharing a little bit of his journey. He has a great story, man.
Yeah, man.
About how he's knocking out mental health and how he's been dealing with that. See, this thing with mental health is what we figuring out is we've been dealing with this shit our whole lives. We just didn't know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
We was told like, hey yo man, get over that. You know, suck it up. You know, keep going.
And I still be having that attitude too.
Yeah. Well, that's how we were raised, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a natural moment for us, right?
Yeah.
Listen, not to go on a big diatribe here, but I just had this conversation with a pretty decent group of people, and I said to them this. I said, I grew up in the 80s, early 90s. So that's the era I grew up in. You call it whatever you want. Old school, whatever, traditional.
It's crazy hearing people call that old school now.
Yeah, right?
Because back then, old school
don't get me
was the
started.
60s.
Don't get me started. You know, this is the whole meme with Back to the Future. It was 30 years before. It's like 85 to 55. Well, that'd be like 94.
That's crazy.
Crazy, bro.
Right,
How the 90s are now is what the 60s were to us growing up in the 90s.
Yes.
And we're here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But my
real
thing
crazy.
is this. Like, I just told these people, I said, listen, I had to learn and educate myself about mental health. You know, I got 2 boys. They are not me. And that's one of the biggest lessons you can learn as a parent is your children are not you. They don't have your experiences. They don't have anything about that. So to me, that was a big lesson for me.
Yeah.
So when my kids or anybody comes up to me, I have a lot of people who work with me, and they're like, man, I'm struggling with my mental health. It could be somebody older than me, somebody younger than me, somebody my age. The first thing I want to do is listen. How can I help? Because we got to understand as a society, that person is telling you they need help by just telling you they're struggling.
Yeah.
They're just telling you.
And that's the change, man, right? That's the change that we've seen. I think everybody has, you know, whether it's our personal experiences, you know, family experiences, friends experience,
Yes.
man. It's a mental, Brian, bro, listen, we've had fortunate enough,
a lot of
man after man after man, guest after guest after guest on our show. Sometime or another, bro, that's came up, you know, and the way that we've always embraced it, being younger, was get over it, figure it out. And like you said, right, to your point, man, and we do, and we have. But nowadays, what JL was talking about, there's a lot of people who don't know what that is and how to handle that, you know, and that's where that extra ear comes in. That's where that, hey, man, you know, like, come here, let me holler at you real quick, or let's talk about this shit or whatever, you know. A lot of people, man, need that. Some more than others, right? Especially now.
I need to listen to Chris, man. I need to listen to what he has to say about it. For real.
Yeah, it was a great one, man.
He dealt with vitiligo, and I got vitiligo. It's not on the scale that he dealt with, but it like growing up, I just let stuff slide off. Like, I didn't start feeling stuff until like 3-4 years ago. I'm talking about like really, like physically and emotionally. I ain't feel nothing,
right?
You know, because you got name called every single day, so you just expect it to come. I just learned something from you, because I don't have kids yet, and it's one of my biggest dreams that I want. You know, to have kids, and I'm just really trying to just be cool, take my time, and it's all in God's plan anyway.
Yeah, man.
So, but they're not us.
Yeah.
I think you just gave me a lesson that I didn't want to learn through my kids. And I'm not saying you did this, but I can imagine how I would do my kid based on how I grew up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're going to be completely different human beings. They're not going to have the same lack of sensitivity that I have, or that I had.
Yeah. They're
not going to have, and this is why I'm working. This is why we all working to make better for our little ones.
Yeah,
they're not going to have the conditions that I had growing up. No. Yeah. And I gotta approach that different. I often think about, how am I going to raise my kids? That is one of the most important things to me. Yeah. Me and my wife, we talk about it a lot too. But I hope that I'm never a hindrance to them in any sort of way. And I know that I would be if I didn't hear what you just said. By trying to make them go through the same thing that I went through. Yes, I came out of it, and you know, I was able to do this, that, and the third. And this is for not just me. This is for every man. This is for every man. We were able to do what we need to do out of that, but was it really necessary?
Well, I mean, think of it this way, Brian, man. You know, again, you know, just
it ain't necessary for them.
It ain't. And here's the thing, man. And this is, I couldn't imagine. Just think about this. Being a young person in today's schools, man, or just world.
I think about that too.
Listen, you know what social media is. You grown. We grown. We know what social media is. We've had experiences already. We content makers. How many times people say this sucks, that sucks, whatever.
Well, we've been on socials for over 20 years now.
Exactly.
Black Planet was my first social.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then MySpace.
Yeah. Right. But my point is when we was coming up, we could turn the bully, the bullshit, the whatever we didn't want to hear. We left school and it was gone. We go home to mom and dad, brother and sister, aunt and uncle. We cool again, right? We at peace. That's home, right? Then we got to go back the next day, deal with it again for that 6 hours, 8 hours, right? Well, now, imagine you can't turn it off.
Okay, well, imagine you get into a fight at school, and you get the worst of it. And they got it on video. Yeah. And they replaying the video all the time.
All the time.
Mm-hmm. Anytime that you have an issue with somebody or somebody has an issue with you, he ain't finna do that, and look at the video. We ain't do none of that growing up. No. Camera phones was starting to come when I was graduating high school in 2003. I remember the first camera phone I saw was 03.
Sprint.
I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was a flip.
The little flip Sprint phone?
What is this? That. Yeah. You got a camera? Like, what? You got... Yeah. So, it's on video all the time. And then that just that could go either two ways. That could either really push you away and make you want to hide and make you want to, you know, just never see life again. Yeah. Or it could push you to become some sort of like menace.
Absolutely.
You know, right. It depends on how people deal with it. So like, that's just one example of something.
Well, no, you right.
I can't imagine, to your point, like, bro, like, man, just something else that I think about is some of the parents and their conduct online.
Oh my God!
Come on, man. Yeah, bro.
Let's say that, you know, I'm a kid and there's another kid going at it and we going back and forth in the way that we used to roast.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about each other, mama or whatever.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody, I just think about somebody holding up a picture of somebody's mama or something. She's on OnlyFans or something.
Right. Or anything.
Or a conversation that's screenshotted between the father arguing with his baby mama or something like that. Like, it's so many
There's just
things
so much
that
out
you have
there,
to worry about.
Yeah.
Worry.
So and you know, to JL's point, I mean that's what the our kids are living in, man. I mean, and we had to do it different. And man, I mean, we can go on and on about this shit, man. I got a bunch of girls, man, and it's a whole different realm of there's a lot of estrogen in my house, brother. But you know what?
Your second amendment is
strong, brother, strong.
Yikes.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we can go on and on, man.
I wanted to ask you though, man, just kind of getting back to the radio station here and your work with it, man. Is there anything coming up you want people to know about? Any event, any change or anything, man, that you want to share?
Just tap into Hustle and Shine in the morning, dog, because me and Deanna, we really have the best in mind for the town when it comes to the content that we make. Mm-hmm. We really just want to motivate, make people feel good, make you think about certain things, and really just create a family environment. That's why we call everybody cousins, because we feel like your family, especially if you're tapping into us. Because we're sharing things we don't share in front of other people, in front of company. You know what I'm saying? We're sharing it in front of y'all. Sometimes we're transparent on that show with some of the things that we talk about.
Okay.
So, man, Hustle and Shine in the morning is I'm so proud of the work that we put in with that show and what we do with it and what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. So just Hustle and Shine in the morning.
Man, I wanted to add, I don't know if you knew this, Jay, or not, but I was trying to, do a little bit of research on you, B, man, and I seen that you got an Emmy. Did you get an Emmy award, bro?
I got an Emmy. Yeah.
When was that? Deal. When was that, bro?
2021, and I owe thanks to my brother Kerry Rounds, who's a producer.
Yeah. How does that go around, bro? Let's talk about that. How'd that happen, man?
Well, Mr. Bob Kendrick and Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Shout out Bob, man.
I had the pleasure and absolute 1,000% honor to narrate a piece that was depicting the 100 years of the Negro Leagues in 2020. Oh, yeah. So it was the 100-year anniversary of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Yeah, I was a narrator. We did it at my bro Jazz 64111 studio. He has an Emmy as well for helping produce the vocals on that. And it was something that it's an example of that Emmy, my wife, and Patrick Mahomes. Excuse me. They are all examples of how God is going to bless you exceedingly and abundantly past anything that you can imagine. Come
on, man.
Those three examples in my life. I know other people have examples in theirs, but I never thought that I would get an Emmy. But it was for that piece for the Negro Leagues on PBS. It aired in 2021 around that time.
What's it called?
It's called Change of a Century, I think. 100 years of the Negro Leagues. Okay. Yeah, you can look for it on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now.
You mentioned Patrick Mahomes. I was just
Century of Change. I'm sorry, Century of Change. You can see the 100 years of the Negro Leagues. Search for that on YouTube.
Pat Mahomes, Emmy Award, his wife, JL.
You know what that is, D?
You know what that is, B?
Oh, right.
That's a salute.
That's a salute, bro. Come on, man.
Get on
that, man. Come on, man.
So, I was going to say, Patrick Mahomes, I know you're watching this. Send me a pair of those shoes because I seen the
Negro League ones?
Yes.
Yeah, they fly.
Bro, I love man. Let me tell you something. I will openly admit, and it's probably because I'm a big guy, I got big ankles and everything, big feet. I do not like the no tongue shoes.
Oh, okay.
The kind of like foot slips in and that's it.
That's all he got in it.
Yeah, I don't really like those, but I will buy me a pair of those shoes. Yeah, because we had Bob Kendrick on here. Love Bob Kendrick. Yeah, big fan. Shout out Bob.
Yeah, one of my favorite people in the city.
Man, he is amazing, man. Yeah. And of course Pat Mahomes, man. Come on. That's a great collab.
Yeah, man, it's a perfect collab, and I'm glad they got. I talk to Mr. Kendrick all the time about the merch from the Negro Leagues. I've been talking to him for like 5 years about the merch.
Yeah,
and bro, first off, the merch at the museum itself is already A1.
Yes,
but now they got the Adidas partnership.
Yeah,
they finna take it to another level.
When they got the lids deal
Hell
too.
yeah,
They're partnering with lids, bro.
Yeah,
you get all them hats, bro.
You shit.
Yeah, come on, man.
Always got to represent that Negro League.
Yeah,
it's a gym, bro. Atlanta ain't got that.
No.
Los Angeles ain't got that.
No.
New York don't have that.
No.
We have that.
Yeah,
Negro
man.
Leagues Baseball Museum.
Kansas City, man.
And it's so important to the fabric of the country.
Yes.
You know, and it's right here in our city.
It's amazing, man. I mean, the New York Yankees was just here. The Baltimore players. When you see the Negro Leagues and even NFL players, they flock there. They're like, man, we gotta see this, man.
Yeah.
So it's you gotta see it, man.
Yes,
you
sir.
gotta see it. So, all right, man, we're gonna switch it up a little bit, D-Rod.
Yeah.
Ask some little bit funner questions, man.
Right.
Pull out some personality in you a little bit, and then we got a Kansas City versus we gonna get to. So, with that, we talked about blood in, blood out, man. All right, let's go. Favorite
Cheap time.
Sheep time.
Cheap time.
So people didn't know, but we were sitting down, like, and he did that, and because I said, man, was you the dude that mailed the pic, man, kill my bro? And he was like, cheap time.
Cheap time.
We did it for cheap time. Favorite scene, is that it?
No. Oh,
Favorite
man,
scene.
My favorite scene from Blood
Give
In,
me
Blood
some
Out.
chomp. Come on,
Bound
bro.
by Glory. When very suave. Ow. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That part.
Come on.
That part. I gotta rewind that part 4 or 5 times. Like, bro, did he not just do that?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know, man. The whole movie is just so great. And the thing about movies is like Godfather and Scarface, I like the grimy part. More than like in Scarface specifically, I like the first half of that movie, and then when they play the montage when he getting the money or whatever, and he moves into the mansion.
He's moving up. Yeah.
That part's fine too, of course.
Yeah.
It's a part of the movie, but I like the beginning.
Yeah,
I
when
like
he got
the
there.
building first.
Yeah, the building up.
Did you know on Scarface that every one of those murder scenes were from actual murders that happened in Miami?
Huh?
Every single one of those scenes.
They just
You mean
reenacted
they
it.
were-
They reenacted it.
So at the end, that was actually real?
Martin Scorsese, he's the one that made it. So he's on record.
Brian De Palma?
Or Brian De Palma.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He went after hours and kicked it with cartel or drug lords back then, underground, and he went and got police files from murders, and they just reenacted how it went down.
Bro, did Oliver Stone write that?
I don't even know.
Because I've read.
I think they're all. I think. I don't know if Oliver Stone did. I thought Brian De Palma.
It's either Brian De Palma or Oliver Stone. I saw a story where similar to that, where he just hung out and he was hooked on coke or something like that.
Yeah.
He was hooked on coke. Like he did that on accident.
Oliver Stone
on addiction on accident.
Right. Yeah, those are facts. But again, a different era, man.
That's crazy.
Different times,
Yeah,
right?
man. But my favorite scene is it has to be
the grime.
Probably in the grimy part. The first,
mine too.
First hour or two of that movie.
Police chasing.
The bad part. I hate it when they put my man
In
when
the
they
shower?
break his back. No, I hate it. I hate that part when they break his back.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about South Central. I'm about to say 15.
Oh, no.
That's South Central. Yeah,
South
I get
Central.
those
Come
mixed
on.
up. But I don't know. I guess the Suave Al, that part just always makes me giggle. But any scene where I can't remember what his name was, the one who was mixed, who was white and Hispanic.
Miklos.
Yeah, any scene that he's in, man, it was electric.
You know what I tell people, Brian? I tell people, those folk, Miklo included, they went into character, and if you notice today, they never got out of character.
No.
They still do tours like Fiestas, Cinco de Mayo, California, Las Vegas. People flock to these dudes, and they still dressed up. Lokes, straight out the movie. They just older now.
That's my movie, bro. That movie is so good, and it hit me because it was one of those. It's one of those movies where it's just on late at night one night, and I was like 12 or 13 years old when this was happening. My daddy was watching it, so I watched it with him. I'm the type of person who watch bits and pieces of a movie, and then I'll put it together later, and I'll watch the whole thing later. Yeah, sometimes it just be too much for me to consume at that point.
I love it, man. All right, love that. So, what is the craziest, like, you came into work on the radio, you was ready to do your thing on the radio, and it just changed? Like, what was it that changed it? Can you describe that? Was there ever a moment
bad
for
day?
It don't matter. Bad day, something that happened in the city, nationally, whatever.
Well,
you knew you was going to
together.
start talking about these things, and then you show up, and they're like, "Hey, this happened."
Well, I think the closest thing I can come to that is probably Michael Brown. That night, this is 10 years ago.
When
the
Michael Brown happened.
I think it was the night it was either the night he was killed or the night that the sentence came down or something. I can't remember, but everybody was in an uproar. And they were afraid that people, because this was in Missouri.
Right, St. Louis.
So people thought that the looting and the fires and all of that, the rioting was going to come here.
Yeah. Man.
That was the fear.
Yeah, that was the thought. They were out there saying that.
And we had I remember I think Mr. Carter came up here. And he was just trying to, I guess, be cool, because I think he made some statements.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably one that was crazy. But then it was crazy because at the same time, the Royals were like going to the World Series too. I think. Yeah. Around the same time. Yeah. So just you got to have an emotional intelligence, some sort. Like, you can't be all excited and stuff talking about one thing or the and having a somber mood like we discussed earlier in the mornings or whatever. So probably Michael Brown and Michael Brown situation.
I got a question then too. Kind of same thing but different. Being that there used to be some celebrities, Steve Harvey had his morning show here, right? We all remember that. Do you have a funny story of a celebrity or something? And you can name them or you can't, but if you don't want to,
Kevin Gates, I guess.
Something kind of crazy Gates. That you're like, man, this motherfucker did this or whatever. I mean, you got something on somebody?
I was doing an interview with Kevin Gates in the other room next door to this, in the production room, and
in person.
Yeah, he was in person, and Kevin Gates is a unique individual because he don't like people touching him. And I think I don't want to give him the wrong religion, but I think he's I think he's Arabic or Islamic. And so he had just got through praying, and he didn't want anybody to touch him. And somebody came in and tried to hug him, and he was like, "No, I'm good." That was how the interview started. So we're in the interview, and people whip out their phones and they want to get video or whatever. So all right, I meant Muslim. That's what I meant.
Okay,
not Arabic. Muslim. That was on me.
That's all good.
I mean, I didn't know if he was Muslim, so I don't. He just got through praying. He didn't want anybody to touch him. Yeah. But people were taking video, and boom, 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 boom. He just bang on the window. Stop all that. Talking to the person that was recording him on the video on the phone, and it was just so abrupt. Wow, it was like he felt like he was finna break the glass in there.
Damn.
So that was one.
And then did it go smooth after that?
It was in its own Kevin Gates way, as smooth as it could be.
I mean, you talking about composure? You probably had to keep your composure.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to be cool. I tell you, an exciting time, and it was around the same time as 2014. I was interviewing Tech about I was interviewing 50 Cent about being independent. This is when he broke away and was being independent now. Yeah. And Tech comes walking in. Like, nobody knew he was coming up here. Yeah. So I for sure didn't. So I was the first one, Tech 9 and 50 Cent. I interviewed both of them on there in the afternoons that one day. That was a special day. I ain't gonna never forget that
Man,
day. So,
Yeah.
that's
Got
like
pictures
two
of
of my
that?
favorites.
I do. It was one of my most liked pictures ever. It got like, I don't know, I can't put a number on it, but yeah, I have to dig that up.
All right, let's move on, man. So, Enterrupt KC, man. People, places, and things, Kansas City. I kind of gave you a warning on this earlier. So we do this thing, Brian B, man, where it's a versus. It's a Kansas City versus. All right. So we're going to give you two things. You pick which one and tell us why. All right. I'm going to let D-Rod go first.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to start off with Paul Rudd, actor, comedian, versus Eddie Griffin, actor, comedian.
Uncle Eddie. Love Paul Rudd, and I love what he does for the town and how he represents Kansas City. But Uncle Eddie, he was in Meteor Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all seen Meteor Man?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah,
Look
man.
at that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Look, man, he was in Meteor Man, Foolish. He was in, let's see, Jason's Lyric. Man, come on, he's on Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, man.
Uncle Eddie, dog. Eddie Griffin.
Yeah, where's he
Hell yeah.
stay
Let's
at
go.
now? Does he?
He's in
I think
California.
He's in Cali, isn't it?
Oh, Vegas?
Yeah,
He's
I
in
think
Vegas?
it's
He out there
Vegas
somewhere.
or Cali is one.
Right,
Whichever
right,
one got the lower
Eddie
state
Griffin,
tax.
man, come on up here, man.
Probably Nevada.
Yeah, I think so.
right.
I think so.
You big Chiefs, so this might be tough.
The
but
biggest Chiefs fan.
Bobby Witt Jr. versus Isaiah Pacheco.
He got me with that one. Because Bobby, let me say something. Bobby is a staple in the town now. He's the next George Brett. He's the next Salvador Perez. He's the next one, dog. You know, I don't want to throw Mike Sweeney up in there. You know, but nah. Golly, because you didn't put Patrick in there for a reason.
We didn't. That's too easy.
Because I love Isaiah Pacheco, bro, and it's hard because he's one of my favorite players on the team because of what he brings and what he does.
His energy, bro.
See, the thing, though, let me get technical here. Let me bring out my football side
go ahead.
because the way that the running backs are structured in the NFL, I'm not sure if Pacheco is going to be here for a very long time. Yeah. So
They almost like replaceable now, easily.
yeah, kinda, and they just don't want to pay running backs like that.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's facts.
this is year 3 for Pacheco. I don't know how long he gonna be here. Bobby Witt, he finna be a staple in the city. I got
10 years, man.
Pacheco, you know, I met him before. We had a cool conversation. Played his little brother on the radio or whatever. I love Isaiah Pacheco, but yeah, man, I
Gotta go Bobby Witt. All right.
He's the face of the franchise for the
He
Royals.
is.
I can't neglect the Royals.
Just
They're
won the
my
batting
babies too.
Just won the batting title.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let me retract a little bit. Who's the Chiefs gonna beat in the Super Bowl, man?
It's looking like the Lions, huh?
I mean, they just
it's looking like the Lions,
just beat the
dog.
brakes off of the Dallas Cowboys, which ain't showing
I hate the
much.
Cowboys
Embarrassing.
so much.
I hate the
Embarrassing.
Cowboys so
I hate
much.
them bastards.
Oh my god!
I think-
You're predicting.
I was
you're
happy when
predicting
they
Lions?
signed
I think
Dak.
the Lions, dog.
Okay.
I mean, I know they just lost Aiden Hutchinson, but I think they got enough to get there for sure. I don't think the Vikings do. I don't think they're going to hold up. I did pick the Bears and the Rams in the NFC Championship game before the season started. Not looking good on that Rams pick. My Bears pick is getting better by the day, though. But I right now, if gun to my head, Lions. Lions, Chiefs will wear our red jerseys and our
All reds.
I mean,
they're up for it.
not our red, our white jerseys because last year we was the home team. We wear our white jerseys with our red pants against that Honolulu blue and silver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Here we go. KC, of course, people, places, thing, man. How about Q39 barbecue versus Jack Stack barbecue?
They not making it easy, huh? Love Q39, man. They show me big love. Both places show big love.
What you get
They're
from both
so
then?
great. Huh? From which one?
But either one of them. What you?
More so burn-ins from Q39 because advanced pause. The meat is so tender. I don't give a damn.
No diddy, Roy. No diddy, man.
I don't give a damn how you interpret it. Go to Q39 and see if you say pause then when you again advance pause. Taste the meat. Pause.
All right. So
But it's tender.
So I feel you 100%. The ribs, man. For me, man, come on.
Listen, I have never had And I ain't never had nothing bad from Q39. But I have never, ever had a bad anything from Jack Stack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you going Jack Stack?
Okay. I gotta go Jack Stack.
Okay.
Oh,
I gotta go Jack
over
Stack.
Q.
Bro,
Okay.
Jack Stack
All right,
is,
man.
it's, bro, they do everything almost perfectly well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go wrong at Jack Stack.
Yeah.
Which one do you go down here to Martin City?
Man, I go to all of them.
All of them?
Seriously, that's the latest one me and my wife went to a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the Freight House is
The
probably
Freight
my
House,
favorite
yeah.
one.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the Freight House. I like the way it looked.
Yeah, I went down there not too long ago. All right. Let's do Loose Park versus Swope Park.
Swope.
Swope car shows, man.
Swope, baby. Swope is special in so many ways because it's so many things you can do in Swope, and it's the biggest one. Pause. So, Swope Park, baby. Plus, that's, it's in the hood. That's kind of where I kind of, I saw Swope Park maybe daily. Definitely when I was on 59th and Spruce, I saw Swope Park. Baby. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep on going with a little bit of food, man, because that's me, man.
Yes, sir.
That's me. So let's go with Kitty's Cafe versus Town Topic.
Town Topic.
Town Topic,
Yeah,
man.
Town Topic.
Truck
You getting a
stop.
bowl of chili?
No, I don't do that. I give me a simple little cheeseburger and some cheese tots or something.
Over Kitty's Cafe Tenderloin?
Yeah. I like big love to Kitty's, and I know they look one of the most.
They just
popular,
opened up again too.
Yeah, they just had a grand opening like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I
Okay.
love both, and I love all my KC businesses. I really do. But
Yeah,
Town
well,
Topic is special.
we shouting them out, man.
Yeah.
All right.
And Town Topic on the west side. What's up?
Yeah.
Side. Shit. That's what's up. I do Oceans of Fun versus Worlds of Fun.
Oceans. Hands down.
Oh, for real?
Hands down. Bro, I ain't been in Worlds of Fun in over 20 years.
I ain't messing with them rides,
Yeah,
man.
nope. I'm not a roller coaster rider.
No?
Nope. The closest thing I'm riding to a roller coaster is the Monsoon. And they just shut that down. That's it. But yeah, I'm a summer baby, so I love water. I love swimming. Oceans of Fun all day.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Garozzo's Italian or Casconi's Italian restaurant.
All right. I hope I don't offend nobody. I love my Italian brothers and sisters. I love you to death. I don't eat Italian food for real.
Oh, you don't mess with it?
No,
Okay,
I
okay.
don't like pizza.
Forget
I don't
about
like
it.
spaghetti. I don't like none of that.
See, somebody gonna hear you say pizza, and they gonna be like, "That's not Italian food."
Oh, my bad. What is it then?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, bro.
I don't know. Yeah, I like my food dry.
Okay.
Italian food is anything but dry.
Right, sauce.
Yeah, it's hella saucy and it's in a good way.
Right.
And I respect and love Italian culture.
Yeah.
I just
It's just not your favorite, not your thing. It's not your thing. Okay, bro.
I'm sorry,
I
man.
get it.
Shout out
I
to
get
both.
it.
I'm sure both restaurants are exquisite. I apologize.
Okay, it's
I
all
hope
good.
y'all got
It's all-
some Mexican restaurants though.
Well, we do.
All right.
We got some.
I hope Michael Garozzo's listening to this, and he's like, "You need to
I
come
love
try
his
this
voice,
chicken."
Mr.
Yeah,
Garozzo's.
that's where chicken
Michael's
spaghetti was
cool as
made.
hell, man.
All right, let's do Chiefs playoff run versus Royals playoff run.
Chiefs. Sorry, Royals. I love y'all. I'm a football guy.
Yeah.
Football guy.
What's your favorite? I mean, you said 95. You gave that year earlier. So, biggest heartbreak as a Chiefs fan. I mean, there's a lot in the 90s, man.
Man.
It's the 95.
It
it's
was
that
almost
Lynn
every
Elliott
year.
game, dog. It's the first heartbreak for me because the one previous to that was was us losing to the Bills in the 93 AFC Championship game.
Okay.
But Joe Montana got hurt in the middle of that game, so I don't think everybody thought we was going to beat Buffalo in Buffalo anyway that year because Buffalo was such a juggernaut.
Yeah.
But it's the 95 game versus the Colts where Lynn Elliott misses those field goals. Steve Bono throws 3 interceptions.
God.
Rich Gannon gets the team down the field for a last chance field goal, and he misses another one. All of them under like 42 yards. So I was 10 years old, and that was the first time the Chiefs had been dominant since I was alive. They were 13-3, the best defense in the league. and lost to them funky ass Colts, bro, because they were not supposed to even be there.
Jim Harbaugh Colts.
They weren't even good.
Yeah.
They escaped with a lucky win versus the Chargers the week before in San Diego in the wild card. And then they waltzed up into Kansas City at Arrowhead, and I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting.
So now that the Chiefs are on their run, right? I mean, we in it now,
and we deserved it.
Favorite playoff moment the last 5 years? I mean, besides the Super Bowl wins, obviously, but what's that?
So the Super Bowl wins excluded. Moment or win?
Either.
Moment is when Patrick got that runoff against the Titans in the AFC Championship game in 2019. I was there for that. I couldn't believe he ran it. I couldn't believe he got all the way to the end zone and how they were not able to tackle him.
You think some of that is like respect for the player?
No.
No,
they
trying to
get to
him.
a bowl.
Yeah,
Titans are trying to get to a bowl.
Yeah.
They don't give a damn about none of that.
Yeah.
It's just that they underestimate how fast Patrick Mahomes is.
That's true. That's
and at that time, that was only his third year in 2019. That was only his third year in the league, so people really didn't.
Second year playing too.
Second year playing, so they didn't know fully what his speed was. They learned after that play.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did. So that play, and then favorite game, the Bengals AFC Championship game in 2022. I was there for that. My wife is from Cincinnati.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year before?
Yeah.
The year before? You remember what happened the year before?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
man.
at the
AFC,
game.
yeah. And I lost $200. Gave the dude 9 points in front of me. Yeah, I lost $200 that game, as well as going home with,
Was that before the game started or like after the first quarter?
It was before the game started.
Yeah.
I had full confidence.
You gave
that
him
we was
9
gonna
points?
Beat the shit out of Joe Burrow and the Bengals in 2021 in the AFC Championship game.
We should have.
But yeah, whatever. The next year though, got my lick back. Plus we got a Super Bowl win.
Yes.
So the AFC Championship game in this playoff run is probably, but not Super Bowl wins. That's probably my favorite win because of, my wife was there with me and her best friend and her husband was there. So I was the only happy one in the car going home. They're all from Cincinnati.
Right. We talking all these sports, man. Who's your greatest athlete of all time? Patrick of all time?
It was Derek. Mm-hmm. Patrick got us a bowl.
DT,
What's Patrick like, man? You met him in person, man.
I met him one time. He is who you see. Like, just nice, personable.
He seems like it, man.
I think he he's at a point now where he treats it like a business. So, he knows how to act and what to do, but very just respectable. I've talked to his father on 2 occasions too. I had an interview with his father a couple times, Mr. Mahomes. Okay. Great, respectable, dudes
are athletes, man.
Yeah, man.
Professional athletes.
They been in it. He been in it for a long time.
Great dudes, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Well, listen, Brian, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man, here on Enterrupt KC.
I love my time, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. We appreciate the work you do, man, the man you are. You become in Kansas City, holding us down, man. You represent us Kansas Cityans, bro, every morning, even though we know you hate getting up now. You represent us, man, so keep holding us down, man. Keep holding the city down.
Thank you.
Hey, man, is there anything that you'd like to share with us and our audience, man, that we didn't touch on, man?
I'm just super grateful and thankful for everybody who has ever listened to me, who's ever came to any of my events, who's ever liked any post that I put up, who's ever watched any post that I put up. I don't take it for granted because you don't have to do that. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you paid attention to me.
Let's go.
And I love and appreciate you for that. I really am thankful because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want to make sure that whatever I deliver, you can get something from it and that you come away feeling better about yourself. So
appreciate that.
That's always my goal. And KC is the town, like Rich the Factor.
Let's go, baby. Man. Rich the Factor.
Hey,
one of the kings.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man.
So with that, man, Enterrupt KC, JL.
D-Rod, man.
We are out of here, everybody. Like, follow, share, subscribe, man. Go give a shout out to our boy, Brian B. Shynin.
Wake up
man,
early and watch him.
Big love.
6 to 10 a.m. every day. Let's go. We out. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.